All right, we've all been there, right? The classic, who would win in a fight matchups. But what if the most interesting crossover isn't about a fight at all? What if it's about something way more fundamental? Okay, let's get into this because today we're asking what happens when the Man of Steel drops into a galaxy far, far away. So let's just put aside the whole lightsabers versus heat vision thing for a second. The real question, the one that completely changes the game, is this. What happens when an entire reality, one built on a very specific set of rules, suddenly runs into someone who doesn't play by them at all?
And yeah, just so we're all on the same page, let me be absolutely clear about this. We are not here to talk about who would win in a fistfight. Believe me, the stakes are so much higher than that. What we're actually looking at is a total systemic crash. It's the introduction of a variable so alien, so completely off the charts, that it doesn't just challenge the powers that be, it literally breaks the galaxy's metaphysical operating system. He is what's known as an outside context problem. And this is the key to everything we're talking about today. An outside context problem is something so fundamentally different, the existing system just can't process it. It doesn't have the words, the tools, or even the philosophy to begin to understand what it's seeing. And for the Star Wars galaxy, Superman is the ultimate example of this. So the second he arrives, bam, the very fabric of the galaxy just reacts. It's not a little tremor, it's a shockwave. Every single Force user feels it, from Yoda on down to the newest Padawan. And it's not good, it's not evil, it's just immense. It's this overwhelming presence that they can feel but have absolutely no way to define. And this gets to the core universe-shattering truth of his arrival. See, Superman doesn't use the Force. He's not some new kind of Jedi or Sith. The Force itself treats him like a giant boulder in the middle of a river. The current just has to part and flow around him. He exists and the Force has to accommodate him. This, as you can imagine, leads to two very, very different kinds of crises. For the two biggest players in the galaxy, this anomaly presents two totally distinct existential threats. For the Jedi, it's a crisis of knowledge. It challenges everything they thought they knew. But for the Sith, for them, it's a crisis of control, threatening the one thing they crave above all else. You know, the Jedi do what any big old institution does when faced with something new. They try to cram a square peg into a round hole. Their entire worldview is built on the Force being the ultimate power, so they just assume he has to be some kind of unique manifestation of it, right? Of virgins. I mean, it's the only frame of reference they have. But then, they actually try to read him with the Force, and their entire belief system just shatters. They reach out and find absolutely nothing. No connection. No light, no dark. Just a void where an answer should be. In a single moment, their thousands of years of knowledge are proven to be tragically incomplete. But while the Jedi are having, a philosophical meltdown, the Sith see this very differently. Palpatine, in particular, grasps the political reality with terrifying clarity. For the very first time, the ultimate manipulator, the master puppeteer, has found a string he cannot pull. There is one single being in the entire galaxy that is beyond his control. And this table just lays it all out, plain and simple. Look, the Jedi and the Sith, they're two sides of the same coin. They're both powered by and totally dependent on the Force. Superman, his power comes from a yellow sun. It's biology. His motivation isn't some grand cosmic balance or a lust for domination. It's just simple, incorruptible hope. And his vulnerability, well, within their system, he doesn't have one. And that's the absolute game changer. He makes their entire playbook obsolete. I mean, how do you tempt someone who wants nothing you can offer? How do you corrupt someone who is basically a moral absolute? How do you control someone when you have no access to the source of their power? The answer is, you can't. The Emperor doesn't attack, he hides. Now, Superman's impact isn't just passive. He doesn't just stand there. When he finally acts, he introduces a form of power the galaxy has literally never seen before. There's no anger, no big, flashy explosions, just absolute, restrained, and gentle control. He shows them strength without aggression, a concept that is completely alien in a galaxy built on endless conflict. And this one simple act, just protecting people, starts this massive chain reaction, a total cascade failure for tyranny everywhere. He doesn't need to lead a rebellion or build an army. By simply saving world after world, he proves that fear is not absolute. Regimes built on slavery and domination, their very foundations just crumble. Not from an attack, but because they've been made irrelevant. This right here, this is the revolutionary idea he introduces. In a galaxy that is defined by the constant struggle for control, Empire versus Rebellion, Sith versus Jedi, he shows up and proves that true strength isn't about ruling over others. It's about shielding them. He wins by simply refusing to play their game.
So, what's the long-term fallout from all this? Well, the changes are permanent. The Jedi are forced to admit their dogma is incomplete, and they have to evolve or die. The Sith, whose entire shtick relies on fear and corruption, just lose their relevance. The people of the galaxy, they get a new kind of hope. And most importantly, the Force gets a demotion.
This is the most profound change of all. I mean, think about it. The energy that binds the galaxy together, the metaphysical law that has governed everything for millennia, is suddenly revealed to be just one power source among others. And it's not even the strongest one.
So you see, the galaxy doesn't just flip a switch into a new era of light side victory. No, the entire paradigm shifts. It stops being about achieving some mystical balance between two sides of the same coin. It becomes about accountability.
And why does this happen? What's the reason for this massive shift? It all comes down to the single most disruptive thing Superman does. He refuses to take power. He could easily be the Emperor of the galaxy, but by choosing to be its protector instead, he sets a brand new standard. He proves that ultimate power doesn't have to mean ultimate control.
So, to boil it all down, his true impact wasn't military at all. It was philosophical. He didn't win a war. He introduced a new idea so powerful that it made the old wars completely obsolete. He didn't conquer the galaxy. He forced its entire system to reboot. And that leaves us with one final galaxy-altering question to chew on. Once you prove that the foundational belief of an entire civilization is incomplete, what comes next? If the Force is no longer the ultimate authority, what in the world does that galaxy become?